y'all, I decided to do y'all a favor today. I've shot so many videos without hair, without makeup, and looking like the Wicked Witch. So I decided to dress up for y'all today so I wouldn't hurt their eyes, Teresa. I didn't want to hurt anybody's eyes. Actually, I'm telling a big fat story. I was on Jewelry TV this morning, so
you had to get dressed up.
I had to have hair and makeup today.
Well, you look pretty.
Well, thank you. Emily does an incredible job. In fact, Michael says she's not a beautician, she is a magician. She can wave her wand and change me totally. All right, so, you know, it's almost Christmas. Every Christmas, I make what I named Jamie's coconut cake. And I think it's the very first recipe in the Lady and Sons dessert book.
It is.
What is the name of that book? The Lady and Sons Just Desserts.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, now wait, what? Bobby's favorite cake was caramel, and Jamie's favorite cake was coconut. And I'm in between there, y'all. I would never throw a caramel cake out the door, and I'd never throw a coconut cake out the door. But I think coconut is winning just a little bit. All right, so Sweet Teresa went ahead and baked off our cakes, because I know that's probably pretty boring for y'all to sit through and watch, because I'm sure most of y'all have actually baked a cake. And I think this is in the Lady and Sons Savannah Country Cookbook.
It is.
I think. Because I pulled out a few of my really, really favorite sweets and put them in Just Desserts.
I have never made this cake this way.
You've never made this cake? Okay.
I would tell them what's all in it.
There is so many ways to make a coconut cake. There is some really simple, easy ways to make coconut cake, like using a box cake mix, putting some coconut flavoring, or using unsweetened coconut milk in place of the milk that you put in the cake, and doing a heavy cream frosting, top it with coconut, and you're there. So, but I'm doing the one that is the most trouble. But if you'll go on my website, you can see others, or if you have my cookbooks, you can probably find others. So I'm just gonna walk you through this cake. You're gonna need, I'm doing that's on the frosting. Let me get to the cake, because I've got the frosting, I've got the filling, and then I've got the recipe for the cake. All right, so I make for my coconut cake what they call a 1, 2, 3, 4 cake. And how it got its name way back in the day was it's 1 cup of sour cream. Wait.
No, it's 1 cup.
Here it is. Here it is. All right, it's 1 cup of milk, 2 cups of sugar, 3 cups of sifted self-rising flour, and 4 eggs. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
And that wasn't a 1 cup of milk, it's 1 cup of butter.
Well, it says 1 cup of milk, unless it's been printed up wrong.
It may. 1, 2, 3, 4, it's actually 1 cup butter, 2
This
cups.
has 2 sticks of room temperature butter. 2 cups of granulated sugar. Come on in.
No,
You look all right.
No.
4 eggs, 3 cups of self-rising flour, 1 cup of milk, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract.
And you know why the 1 cup milk, I forgot about the 1 cup milk, is because I use sweetened condensed. I mean, I used, I used the coconut, what you told me to do, the
coconut milk.
So I'm not thinking milk. Sorry about that.
Okay. And that is all right. Because sometimes, I don't know if you took this directly out of the Just Desserts book, but sometimes in translation, they can get messed up. But, okay. 7-minute icing, I'm gonna put that down. All right. So I tell you to, for the directions for the 1, 2, 3, 4 cake, substitute coconut milk in place of regular milk. It will give your cake just a more of a coconut flavor. And while this cake is baking, we're gonna prepare a filling. But I'm gonna walk you through putting this cake together. So you need 3 prepared pans to put this in. And you wanna cream your butter, which is 2 sticks. You wanna cream that until it's fluffy, and then you add 2 cups of sugar and continue to cream well for 6 to 8 minutes. And then you add your eggs, 1 at the time. And you wanna beat them well after each egg. So now we're down to our 3 cups of sifted self-rising flour. Now there's many flours out there, but in the baking world, it'll either call for cake flour, plain flour, or self-rising flour. The plain flour, the cake flour speaks for itself. The plain flour has nothing in it, no salt, no nothing to make it rise. Your self-rising though has all the stuff in there to make your cake rise. Now if all you have is plain flour, you can put, for 3 cups, you can put a teaspoon of salt in it and maybe 3 teaspoons full of baking powder. Not soda, but baking powder. So you can turn plain flour into self-rising, but you can't turn self-rising into plain. Because remember, you can always add to, but you can't take away. So when I was formulating this recipe, I thought, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and use self-rising flour, and that'll eliminate the salt and the baking powder, baking soda, whatever. So, one more time, 2 sticks of room temperature butter, 2 cups of granulated sugar, 4 eggs, 3 cups of sifted self-rising flour, 1 cup of coconut milk. And if you can't find coconut milk, it comes in a can, right, Teresa? Didn't you find it in a can?
Yes,
and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And usually I will use teaspoon of vanilla, and maybe a teaspoon of coconut extract. So that gives it a little bit more flavor. And we're gonna bake these for 25 to 30 minutes or until done. And you're gonna wanna cool them in the pan 5 to 10 minutes. And then I like to invert my cakes onto a piece of wax paper on my rack. All right, so we're gonna add our eggs 1 at a time. I think that's where I left off. Beating well after each addition. And then we're gonna start adding our flour along with our milk. And you wanna always start with flour and end with flour. And I don't know the reason, but somehow adding that flour first and last, it just makes for a much creamier batter. But like I said, I'm no scientist, so I don't know why, but I have found that to be the case. So you'll want to maybe do it in 4 to 5 steps, you know, your flour, and then maybe 1/4 cup of your milk. So anyway, you just have to work it out so that that flour is the first of those 2 ingredients and the last of those 2 ingredients. And I like to use, in my cake pans, I like to use the spray that's for baking, because it's got your grease and your flour all in one can. And I never have a problem when I use that kind. All right, so we got our cakes ready and they've cooled. So what I'm gonna do next. I didn't know if I had I usually use a wooden spoon, but you know, we're in the process of reconstruction here, so I don't have a lot to work with, but I think that makes a little too big of a hole. I don't know, we'll see.
There's some dowels on that cabinet.
Oh, it is. Okay, so I was using my beater, which is working out pretty good. There's some dowels where?
In that left hand, right there.
Ooh.
That's too big.
No, it's a little smaller, Eddie, almost. It's almost the same size. But like I said, I usually grab a, but that made a right good size hole. Let's see. And I just go around and stick holes all in the top, because we're gonna put a filling in this cake and we want it to seep down into this cake, making it even more moist. All right, so we'll go ahead and do this one. I like to get it pretty close to the edge because sometimes the edges can be a little dry. It tastes pretty good, Teresa.
Yay!
I'm having to clean off my spoon so I can keep making holes. It's good, y'all. Way to go, Teresa.
Yay!
All right, now I'm gonna come over here and just make a few big ones so it'll act like your others do. Real good. Really, really good. All right. So, I'm gonna mix up a filling that I just love to put in the center of this cake just because it's so good. And, you know, I don't measure this, but I had to try to measure it so I could share it with y'all. So you may want to adapt this to the way you want it. But, all right, I'm gonna have to put back on those glasses. My eyes are getting worse and worse. Where did I put them? Here they are. It's hard to keep up with them when you don't have them on. All right, I've got 3/4 a cup of sugar. I've got one 8-ounce package, a carton of sour cream. And you don't want to use low fat or anything like that. You know, we're making a coconut cake. So let's go whole hog or go home. And I'm going whole hog. And we've got 1/2 cup of flaked coconut, which to me is really not enough. Teresa has me some. You with me, Eddie? Mm-hmm. Teresa has me some extra coconut so I can fix that. And like I said, I just mix this stuff up together and stick my finger in there and see if it's sweet enough to suit me. All right. So this is kind of stiff. This filling is kind of stiff. So I found that if I wanted this to soak into my cake, that I was gonna need to add some liquid to it. So I just thin it with some milk. And let's see, did I say how much milk? 4 tablespoons of milk. You know, just get it to the consistency that you want. I may need to add some more milk. It just depends on how I'm feeling. I'm definitely gonna add some more coconut. because this is the only coconut. Let's see, I'll put it in here so y'all can kind of see what I'm doing. This is the only coconut that's gonna be actually inside your cake. Naturally, we'll have it on the top of it. All right, that's pretty good, but you know what? I still want it maybe a little bit thinner. So I'm gonna just grab the milk. Okay, y'all, I went and got a little bit more milk because I just don't think that's thin enough to run through the holes that I've made on the cake. So I'm adding a little bit more. And depending on how much filling you want, you could easy double this recipe. You know, and it's guesswork too, you know, to this. I'm gonna see if it's, I think it's sweet enough. But is it thin enough? All right, now we started with 4 tablespoons of milk. So you may wind up with somewhere around 7 or 8 tablespoons. But, you know, just use your judgment as to where you want it to be. All righty. I'm gonna take my first layer. And you wanna have to be careful how you put your cake together, because sometimes all your layers are not the same size. And sometimes they're kind of lopsided.
I did good until the lopsided.
You know what? You did good, Teresa.
I realize that my oven is not level.
Absolutely. And if you don't do a lot of baking, there is a good chance. All right, so I'm gonna kind of want to keep this as even as I can for each layer. So I'm gonna put it on with my measuring cup. And this is, yeah, it's a 1/2 cup. Now I wanna make sure I spread this out real even. All right, I'm gonna come back in and get a little bit more because I want this. That looks really good. So we're putting a filling. All right, I want to see if I should use a little bit more. Maybe just a wee little bit, but not much. Okay. So let's take this layer first. So you can see that this layer is higher than this layer. So we want to put the thinnest part on the thinnest part of the cake, on the thickest part of the cake. Anyway, so that levels it up. It's important where you place your shapes. And do we have any toothpicks, kiddios, here at this house?
Yeah, it should be in there.
Should be up here somewhere.
In the right corner.
Oh, Eddie, you're so smart. So, I put toothpicks in it at this point so my cake won't slide everywhere. So here we go. I'm gonna start with the same amount that I did for the bottom layer, and you can see it's running out now, yay. Okay, so we're gonna spread that out real good. And it's just gonna seep down in those holes. And I love it when a good plan comes together. Yes, all right, now here's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to try to measure out what I have left, because if I have enough, I wanna be able to put some more on this layer. So I'm gonna do this. Oh my gosh. I really don't have a lot of extra to put on this layer, so I'm gonna get every drop I can though on this. So you see why I kept adding more milk to it. I'm sure y'all see the reasoning for that. All right, now, oh no, Teresa told me that she had, had a little accident coming out of the pan. But look, Teresa, that's all right, because you know what? I'm just gonna glue that right back together. Look at that. Brand new. Oh, I see that little crack. Did you about dookie in your pants, Teresa?
Yes, needless to say.
All right, now where is our lowest side at this point? I'm not sure because this cake, but I can fix all this with our 7-minute icing that's gonna go on it, so no problem. You just stay glued up there. Okay. So come in here with toothpicks so that little sucker won't go anywhere on us. It's amazing what that sweet and sour cream does to this cake, y'all, because it's kind of tart. I mean, I'm trying to get blood from a turnip right now. I'm trying to get every bit of that liquid gold. Okay. I mean, that icing, see why I wanted to kind of measure so I'd have a good idea that I didn't get to the top layer and hardly have anything for it. So perfect. We did a good job, kids. All right. Yeah, Teresa, it doesn't matter, you know, that they are got heavier sides than others. It doesn't matter because our 7-minute icing is gonna be so fluffy and so thick. So I can always put more icing on this side and less on that side where it's high. So it is nothing to worry about. So, but here's the deal on this cake, y'all, which is the hardest part for me. I tell you to stick this in the refrigerator for 3 days. 3 days and 3 nights. Because we want to give that frosting or filling time to seep all through that cake. And that's what makes this cake so delicious, is that it has drank up that wonderful filling. So I guess that we're gonna pretend like it's been 3 days. If y'all won't tell, I won't tell. So, oh my goodness, it's been 3 days. I'm so ready to put the 7-minute icing on this cake. So I just want to take a minute and clear off right here because believe it or not, I actually have burners under this riser. So we're gonna stop filming just long enough for me to clean this up, and then I'm gonna share with you the making of 7-minute icing, which is so divine. It's so divine. Just that quick, y'all. We got this all cleaned off and fixed to make that 7-minute icing. So let's start off by saying we're gonna pretend like it's pouring down rain outside. You cannot make this icing when it's raining. If there's too much humidity in the air, it will not get hard. So put it away until a sunny day. But we're lucky today because we got a bright sunny day. So here are the measurements. I've got my boiling water boiling at a pretty rapid pace, and I'm using a glass bowl, and you want to make sure that that water does not touch the bottom of your bowl, because it will make your 7-minute icing grainy, and you don't want that to happen. But, so in this bowl, we're gonna add 1.5 cups of sugar. And let's see, how much cream of tartar did it say? 1/4 of a teaspoon of cream of tartar. Okay, normally I use, you know, just the white Karo syrup. Okay, so there's our 1/4 of a teaspoon of cream of tartar. And we need 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla flavoring. So I'm gonna put 1 tablespoon because I love the flavor of vanilla extract in this icing. All right, our coconut we're gonna save. All right. Whoa! This is a fast mixer. So we're putting our 2 egg whites, our 1/3 of a cup of water, and we're gonna beat this for 1 minute, and I'm putting like a dash of salt. So that's it. That is it for right now. And I'm gonna turn this puppy up, and we need to beat this for 1 minute. So Teresa, if you can give me 1 minute, please.
1 minute or time.
Well, Teresa hadn't said it, but I think it's been a minute because I had already started beating it before she said anything, so. 7 minutes. So be careful with your cord. I told you about my cousin's wife. I asked her to do this part, and I looked over there and my cord was in flames, where she just let it drape in the fire. So we got her butt out of the kitchen pretty quick, right? And put her back on the computer. Okay, it's been 7 minutes, y'all. And I took the bowl off the boiling water. And you see how I did that? I really didn't have a double boiler. So you can always make you a double boiler using a bowl and a, well, I call them boilers, but a saucepan. Now, so we've taken that off the heat, and we're gonna beat it until it's spreading. Consistency is the way I want it. so beautiful. It was glossy, white and glossy and full of nuts. It was wonderful. All right, now I'm gonna put our spatula down in here and see if I think that's the right consistency. You know what, it could take a little bit more. So I just want to be sure it doesn't fall off of our cake. I wonder what would happen if I put some butter in this. I bet it'd be delicious. Now I hope that I can find a butter knife. Now I like to use just a spoon and a regular knife. Bakers normally use one of those offset, you know, where it goes. I don't like that. I just can't operate it. So now, oh my gosh. Y'all, our icing is slap-ka-dab perfect. Look at that. Doesn't that look like a heavenly cloud and an angel should come out of it? Yes. All right, so now this is the way I frost mine. I put my icing up on the edge, and then I start kind of just pulling it down. I know one time I was on Martha Stewart's show, and I know I've told this story too. And, you know, I think she was kind of leery of me, you know, as far as what would come out of my mouth.
I was with you on this show.
You were with me, Teresa. And I said, Martha, can I ask you a question? And she very hesitantly said, yeah. I said, where do you start when you're icing your cakes? I know she was so relieved, yes, to hear that question. Because I know it probably scared her that I was gonna go somewhere she didn't want to go, but I would never have done that. Never, never, never. But yeah, that when I put it on the edge like that, it just gives me a place to sit, you know, my extra icing. Oh, this cake is gonna be so good.
We are cutting into it, right?
Of course we cutting into it, honey.
I'm just making sure you're not gonna try to save it for some.
Oh, no, no, no. This 7-minute icing doesn't really hold for a whole bunch of long time. So anyway, anytime I make a coconut cake, there's really none left over, you know, because I'm feeding 35 to 40 people. So I never have to worry about that icing sitting around and turning back to sugar.
Darn, there's not 35 to 45 people here today, Teresa. What are we going to do?
I know. I was just thinking about, gosh, there's only 3
I
of
don't
us.
know.
That means lots of cake.
I'll pull my part of the load if y'all will pull y'all's part of the load.
Oh, I never have a problem pulling my load with cake. And I don't think Eddie does either.
I don't think he does either, as long as it's one that he likes. Like I said, the hardest part about this cake, y'all, is putting it in the refrigerator for 3 days. That's by far the hardest. Look at that. See, when I put it there on the edge, it just kind of drapes down. And I'm going to have some cleaning up to do because I'm going to be putting coconut all over this. This is as pretty a icing as I've ever made. not grainy. Because sometimes when I make it, I'm relying on just looking at the clock or, you know, a little timer. And I don't know that that's always the best way to do this. I think Teresa put her phone on a timer, and I think that's probably the most reliable way. How about y'all? See, if you made this cake and tried to put this icing in between each layers, I mean, it would be fabulous. It would be fabulous. But I think you'd have to up the recipe, you know, to have enough. So this way your icing is real thick on top. And then you got your filling in the center, making it nice and moist. All right, where is it lopsided? Where is it lopsided? I can still fix it, Eddie.
It looks pretty.
I was going to say, I don't see any lops.
Okay, good. All I need is some pecans.
I was going to say.
And I'd have myself a piece of divinity.
Kisses.
Get some walnuts over there.
Now, y'all, I missed a step, and I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to wipe the spoon off this fork because I put it in my mouth. But I stepped back, and I could see where it didn't come all the way to the cake plate. And I like it all the way to the bottom of that cake plate. Okay, I think that's got all the holes. Now here's the step I missed. And I didn't think about it till just now. I always put 2 pieces of wax paper under my first layer, so when I get through icing it, I can just slip it out and everything's nice and clean. But since I didn't do that, we're just gonna have to clean up the mess. So this is the way I handle doing the sides. I put my hand against the cake, kind of pressing that coconut onto the side of that cake. And my leftovers, I just bring them back up. Just like that. Stay on there, little coconut. All right, Eddie, are we gonna show them how I normally decorate this?
I don't know.
I think we
have any holly here.
I think
Maybe.
we do.
Yeah.
I think we do out there on that bush.
I'll go hunting.
Okay, because that makes it so pretty.
Well, why don't we take a break while you go grab some?
Okay,
holly
well,
and we'll
I'll
come back.
finish frosting this cake, and Eddie's gonna go get some of the stuff that I like to have on my cake when I present it to my family and my friends. Okay, y'all, we finished it. Now, I love, at Christmas time, to present my cake with holly on top. And normally, I will use an artificial, and I didn't have any artificial today, so we had to use the real thing. You definitely don't want to eat any of these or allow anybody else to eat it. So what I do is I take these and I wrap them in tinfoil so that nothing is touching my cake. And then when I go to cut it, I just take them out and making sure there's no, and of course these were washed really, really well, y'all, in a warm soapy water to make sure they're good and clean. But like I said, I think I would just use the artificial so you don't have to worry about it. And there really is some pretty artificial holly out there, isn't it, Eddie?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to make me feel better and knowing you're okay, go get artificial. But this is a stunning showstopper of a cake. Merry Christmas to us. Love and best dishes, y'all. Oh. Okay, y'all. I had ended the show with love and best dishes, but you know what? As soon as we cut the camera, Eddie said, "You're not going to show it cutting it?" I said, "Well, we're going to cut it." So I said, yes, let's show them what our hard work yielded us. And I start with my cake straight down the center. And this is the way my mother cut hers. So that's the way I've always cut mine. Look at that. Look at that. Now that's my favorite piece to get, y'all. The end pieces. Oh my gracious. And then I just keep going. Just like this. Because I know cakes are really pretty cut in wedges. But for some reason, it's more cake than I can eat. And probably most anybody can eat. So I just have found out that I can yield more slices by doing it this way. But you feel free to cut it any way you want to. In fact, when I get into it and I've got that part even, I can make like 3 slices out of it. Okay, here we go. Okay, here y'all go.
Yum, yum.
Oh my goodness. Bye, y'all. Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.